I call the Groseal Township Downtown Development Authority meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Anderson, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is roll call. Mr. Moran is here. Supervisor Budney.
Present.
Mr. Anderson.
Present.
Ms. Pusak.
Here.
Ms. Branley is excused. Mr. Gergley is excused. Ms. Karn is here. Mr. Jacobson.
Here.
And Miss Pemberton. Next is our additions or deletions to the agenda. Anyone have any additions or deletions? Hearing none, the next item is the approval of the March 28th, 2024 agenda.
I support.
Motion by Ms. Pusak, supported by Supervisor Budney to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is presentations. We have none tonight, so we move on to the approval of the minutes of the February 22nd, 2024 minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Motion by Supervisor Budney, supported by Mr. Jacobson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our financial update, and it's the approval of the February 2024 financial report. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at that. And Ross, is there anything special to point out in the report?
Nope. The one we'll see next month will be everything from the previous year, and then and starting in May, we'll have a brand new, looking at a clean slate. So
Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look through the report. Any questions, comments?
Just make a motion to approve the financial report.
Motion by Supervisor Budney, supported by Mr. Anderson to approve the financial report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our action items. Item number one is a motion to approve the 2024-2025 Groseal Downtown Development Authority budget. And Ross?
yeah, so I'll just go over this pretty quick here. As you can see, our revenues for this year have increased by $1,000 here, as well as our expenditures. Our property tax collections actually increased $52,000 or $62,000, so that's a 40% increase, which is really great. We've seen a little bit more activity on Macomb. We added a new house, people buying vacant land, so that's kind of that explains that increase in property tax revenues. We saw a slight increase in the salary for the director. Previous years,
I don't know if we can approve this
right,
budget.
right. So in previous years, we supported 44% of the director's salary, and we increased that to 50%, as well as an overall increase for community development and DDA salary that's being supported here. So, and then we've added all the FICA health insurance and everything here, all the way down to workers' compensation. So there's that that slight increase. Professional services we've decreased because we do not have a public arts consultant and a events coordinator. We have Allie McGaughey's public arts consultant pay there, and then we're looking out for a marketing coordinator, which we will discuss later. Maintenance in the street has decreased slightly because we've always been a little bit under, so we lowered that. Everything's kind of remaining the same here, aside from events is increasing by $500, and that's having the rec department support our events for this year.
I'd like to point out that our DDA grant is at $10,000 this year. So if we give out 2 grants at the maximum of $5,000, it would be 2 grants for this year.
Yep. And then capital improvements, this $18,000 is for sculpture rentals. We're kind of playing around with if we want to go out and rent more sculptures. We're working with Ally on that, so that number might actually decrease a bit. Lions Park is at $140,000, the DDA parking lot, $32,000, and we're looking at a way to kind of decrease that a little bit. So, and then the community sculpture for this year, which Ally presented on, I believe, last month or the month before, maybe. That's that figure there. And everything else is about the same. So,
Anybody have any questions for Ross on the budget?
I know it's piddly, but there's nothing in there for telephone. I mean, just, it's weird.
yeah. So the telephone is supported by the community development department supports
Okay.
the telephone payment. So, actually, that could have been removed, but.
I'll be watching it to make sure you don't use the telephone, Ross.
Thanks, thank you.
Well, it's good that our revenue's increased somewhat, so that's good. Hopefully that will continue this year. Maybe we can get the redevelopment of a couple of our businesses that are closed and generate some additional tax revenue. So, any further questions on the budget? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Bundy, supported by Mr. Jacobson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next action item is a motion to approve the resignation of Elizabeth Pemberton. I think we had, was there a,
There was not.
not a,
I didn't get any.
um,
But
Ross-
you have her resignation.
Ross and I did receive an email from her explaining that she would like to resign, and so we need to find a new member to replace her, and I talked to Ross about a suggestion of somebody that might be able to. I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to them yet, Ross?
No, not yet. No. And I just wanted to give a thanks to Elizabeth in her short period of time here. She gave a lot of really great ideas to, especially in regards to our events and ways that we could help reach people on Facebook and better market ourselves. So I just do want to give her a thank you. So.
Yep, it's always disappointing when someone has to resign, but things happen in life and understand, so. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Go ahead. Marie.
Motion by Ms.
And
Pusak,
support.
supported by Supervisor Budney. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Our third action item is a motion to approve the GI sculpture painting proposal from the Groseal High School. And Ross, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it looks like they're going with the same sort of idea as last year, just kind of painting over a few things to, get it nice and shiny, I guess. But, so yeah, staying with the same handprints on the interior of the GI and,
Handprints? or
Handprints?
No, they're gonna sign their name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
apologies.
yeah, they're going to paint over the handprints.
They're gonna paint
do
over the
signatures this time.
Yep.
Yep.
Ron, maybe you should have taken that one. I apologize.
So they, we take responsibility for keeping the red part of it, or do they do that? Who paints the red?
They're actually in charge of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're keeping the red and the gray, right? They're gonna have the same thing, and only instead of the handprints being put on them, they're gonna sign their names.
So they're gonna put stripes on
Add
the
gray
red.
stripes to the red.
Oh,
I missed that part.
That's how I, keep the red
Second
and add
line.
gray stripes.
Oh, there you go. See what happens when you read?
yeah,
And we-
okay, so it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. But yeah,
And we have supplied the paint last year, and we're going to do that again this year, correct?
Correct.
Any other questions on the high school and their painting of the GI sculpture? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Anderson,
Support.
supported by Ms. Karn. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our discussion items. First item is Events Subcommittee update. Ross?
Yep, so the DDA, myself, Marie, Jerry, April, and now Eric will be joining the event subcommittee team with Elizabeth leaving. We're going to be meeting April 4th with the rec department down at Lloyd's to discuss our event programming because some of us missed the last meeting. And then on April 17th, we'd like to meet with Community Grown Gardens because they will be starting the farmers market on Macomb in May. So we want to finalize everything. We got a few applications for vendors from Islanders that will come and sell some breads and stuff like that. So we just want to review what they applied for, and we're going to get started in May. So looking forward to the discussion. Yep, that's all I got.
Any questions for Ross on the events committee? Hearing none, we'll move on to discussion item number 2, which is the marketing coordinator update, DDA interview team.
Yep, so we have about 5 applications that we need to review. And I was thinking that after our April 17th meeting, we could review those applications and kind of make a decision down to 3 people to interview. I guess what I was wondering is if the DDA wanted to be involved in that process, or should I just handle that process of the interviewing them? It's kind of up for discussion.
Is anybody interested in joining Ross in the interview?
I'll join
Okay.
Ross.
It would be helpful if somebody had social media experience, which I struggle, so I'm not your expert.
Right.
So
I think it is always good to have more than one person
Yeah.
interview those.
Definitely. Yep.
Appreciate Supervisor Budney agreeing to do interviews.
All right.
Anything else?
Great.
I have a question, just to clarify. April 17th, are we meeting the third Wednesday or the
The
second
third Wednesday, we had to change it.
Okay,
Cause and we just rescheduled it today. I have a meeting that morning that I can't miss. So I was gonna send an email out on
okay,
Monday.
that's good, because I'm out of town for a buying show anyway, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, we can talk more. We can always move it around. It doesn't matter.
Okay, all right, I just was,
We'll start another email thread on top of the one that we have going right now.
okay.
Yep.
There's nothing else on that. We'll move on to discussion item number 3, which is the DDA commercial rehabilitation duties. Ross?
Yep, I'll go up there. So last month, the commercial rehab district passed, so we're just waiting on the word from Wayne County to get that district established, to get this tax incentive going. And part of the process of establishing a commercial rehabilitation district, sorry, I'm sick, guys, is setting up a review team. So when somebody comes in and wants to apply for a tax credit, they will meet with me personally, and then once they meet with me and I feel like they probably qualify, then they will meet with the review team, which is comprised of 2 DDA members, the township manager, the township planner, and then myself. So when we will get the application materials together and review everything and go down a scoring system, go through a scoring system with the application. I'm not going to go through all of this right now. We'll dig deeper into it at a later date once we get confirmation from Wayne County. But essentially, the review team would make a recommendation to the DDA board as to the term of the tax exemption, and then the DDA would then give that recommendation to the township board for them to approve the tax exemption for an individual project. I'm sorry, I kind of rushed through that.
Ross, is this application process and scoring process, is this like a standard thing that's used
So
by the state?
the city of Negaunee actually created a similar one, but I've kind of added our own
Okay, so
sort of some of the things that we
Okay.
would like to see on Macomb Street and what's outlined in our master plan and our economic enhancement strategy. So, I guess we could just start from the top here. So the scoring criteria, these are all just questions of yes or no, and if any of them have a no answer, they do not qualify. So if they all answer yes here, then we would go down, the increase in taxable value all the way up or starting from $50,000 up to $500,000. So we'd put those total points here, 65 points, let's say it's $500,000. And then the number of jobs created, so, 2 points per new full-time permanent job. We add that up. Job retention, let's just say that a business would shut down, but they want to rehab their facility and they would retain so many jobs if they did so. Then, if it retains 1 to 5 jobs, that'd be 5 points. And then we would check these boxes for each individual thing here, like, a mixed-use project including creation or significant rehabilitation of upper-level residential units, that sort of residential on top, commercial on bottom, mixed use. If that the project enhances that sort of mixed use, they would qualify for 5 points. Contributes to downtown placemaking, such as pedestrian amenities, outdoor seating, dining, plantings, green space. Multi-level new construction, and is defined as having more than 1 story above ground level. So let's just say they're one story right now, and they add 2 or 3, they would get extra points for that. Design complements other downtown architecture and contributes to the unique integrity, character, and vibrancy of downtown. Multifamily residential housing, 5 units, 6 to 8 units, 9 units, get points there. Construction of new infill building that supports the traditional historic character. So it's a vacant lot that's built up and it kind of represents what we want to see on Macomb Street. They'll get points for that. So we'd score up all marked yes, and then score up all the points. And then depending on that score determines the amount of years that we would recommend to the township board. Well, what the team would recommend to the DDA to recommend to the township board.
Can you, despite the points, can you go somewhere else, or are we sticking strictly with that?
Which,
When you get done and you got your score,
yeah,
like 15 to 29 points, you get 2 years.
right.
Can you say, yeah, it's 15 to 29, but we think it should be 4 years? Do you have that? I thought like the board actually had that ability, has that ability.
Yeah.
But would you have it too, or the DDA have it?
These are our own procedures, right? So if we want to include somewhere in, because there's an entire administrative packet that I'm creating, and it's about 100 pages long. And within that packet, we can kind of say, scoring criteria, this isn't all or nothing. We could have like an asterisk and say, this can, points can be increased or decreased or what have you.
Or
But
the
I think
years,
this just helps guide and kind of brings a reasoning about it.
It's a great starting point. I just didn't know how much leeway this board or the township board has going over that, because if it's just that, then
Yeah,
then it's a yes or no for the board.
Yeah, if the DDA says, well, we see what the review team worked on, we understand everything, but we think it should be this. It's up to the board. It's up to the DDA to say, well, this is what we want to recommend. I'm sure there'd be discussion amongst you all about, what they should actually get, but the tax exemption should be granted, and then the board will also ultimately have to make that decision too. But this is the job of the review team to say, this is what we think it should be based off
Good
this
enough.
scored retirement.
My experience has been that there typically is a category for like the intangible. They might not get all of these points, but it might be something that we really like or we really want. But, maybe they're only creating 4 jobs or something like that, so they don't get that many points. And so I do agree that if there is a circumstance where there's something that we really want, but we need to give them a higher point, we have that capability of doing that. And then the township board has the ability to either agree with us or disagree. So
Yeah.
it actually will go through 3 different reviews, because
Right.
the review committee and then the DDA and then the board.
Right.
So
Correct. Yeah, I can add a little subsection here in all red stating, total score does not dictate the final outcome or what have you, or,
Well, as long as you probably have that somewhere in your 100-page.
Yeah.
And that's all. I was just wondering about the flexibility.
I'll be sure to note that.
Okay.
Yep.
This is a guideline.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yep. And this is just basically the process of passing it, from the DDA to the township board and giving the applicant a timeline of exactly what they could expect, like how long it would expect between each phase. So,
So is this ready to go into effect?
yeah, so I think it takes 30 days for Wayne County to review, and I sent that to them either a week or two ago. I think I sent it to them just before I left for vacation, so it was last week. And they said it takes up to about 30 days for them to review and then let us know. And then once we get that certificate from them, then basically the program's good to go. So I have everything pretty much ready to go and ready to post on our site. So, and let
But once that is in place, we're going to need 2 volunteers from the DDA board to sit on this review committee. So give it some thought, and maybe at the next meeting, when we know we have the approval from county, we can ask who wants to volunteer and be on that committee.
Any other questions, guys?
Very well done, Ross. This is, I've seen these over the years, and this is very detailed, and good job.
Yeah, Ross put a lot, I know Ross put a lot of time in on this. We talked a lot about it, and yeah, he did a really nice job. He did a real good presentation to the board, and they were all in favor of it unanimously. Thanks, Ross.
The next item is the director's report. You have anything, Ross? Then we'll move on to the next item, which is the chairman's report. And Ross and I have had a chance to meet with Raines a couple times as it relates to the concrete that we discussed a couple meetings ago for Lions Park. And that plan is on the screen in front of you, and it's ready to go out to get a price, I think, with our current contract holder, right, for concrete from the township.
I have to check with Derek on that. He did just do a change order just recently with GV Cement. I'm not sure if that change order included this project, so I have to check with him on that.
But, I mean, if we're not going to go that way, we need to give direction to Raines to get this out to bid
Correct.
right away, because we want to get this done as soon as weather breaks, and
Right.
it's,
Any thought to the sparkly stuff in the sidewalk?
well, Marie, what we did is, if you remember, there was a couple places here where we have some seating that we were going to do some type of other treatment.
Okay,
And we have not, we decided we're going to do this, and then we'll figure out what that other treatment's going to
Okay.
be next.
thank you.
And we've talked about, different types of, it could just be wood chips, it could be like crushed concrete or something like that. And we need to give it some more thought, because we want to make it as maintenance-free as possible, but we want to make it inviting too. So this is the first step, and then creating those 2 seating spots will be the next step after that.
Yeah, because I think the previous renderings had crushed limestone, and because of the maintenance issue, we were thinking about going to concrete, but then if we go to concrete, then it'll be, I think they said like 60% of the lot would be covered in concrete, so we're like, okay, what works here? So, and plus, we don't have the funding for the benches and all the seating, so I think that's probably going to be the next phase, the next year's phase, so. Unless we get funds this year, but we'll see.
Any questions on that? Hearing none, we'll move to public comment. There's no one in the public today, so I would open it up to board members. Any open business from any board members?
I have a question about the parking lot. So the 32,000, that's for the parking lot, that's the public parking lot. So that has nothing to do with the the lot that's behind the formerly known as Hoy Pan.
Correct. Nope. We are still working out the specifics regarding that lot behind Hoy Pan. So yeah, that 32,000 is for the free parking lot, the public parking lot, and we're working with Carl Moore still to see what can be done, the most cost-effective route. So he's gonna come present a plan. I'm hoping for next month, but he's
And
been
that's
busy.
the landscaping to screen the west side of the parking lot?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can repave the surface of the parking lot too?
We'd like to, but that's why we're trying to keep the landscaping costs down so that we could pave that as well. Yeah.
And then with the change at Hoy Pan, did we retain the right-of-way to that lot back there?
Correct. We still have that lot. That's in the
But
back.
we should have the right-of-way.
There's an easement to get
Yeah,
back
there's
to
an,
the,
Correct.
Because I thought that dropped off when it sold.
but the intent is to put that up for sale, right, Ross?
Correct.
Okay. Anything else? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Motion by Supervisor Budney, support by Ms. Karn to adjourn at 6:57. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries.
Everybody have a nice